Hello and thanks for joining us for Friday's programme.
On Granada Reports tonight.
To say that they want houses because we're homeless. Bit of a kick in the backside, really.
Turned away from having a room for the night. A homeless man rejects an apology from a hotel which refused to put a roof over his head during freezing weather.
It's been a lifeline to Eve's confidence and joy, but can her family get the help they need for a new powered wheelchair so she can keep her independence?
A knockout performance. The Manchester brothers taken to the big screen to play a young Prince Nas.
Macclesfield look to leave a massive mark in the FA Cup history, but only after they finish some smaller jobs at the ground.
Unblocking toilets, that's a regular thing for us, to be honest, but for it to happen just before a big game is a bit of a problem.
And in the weather, Storm Goretti is now away. We missed the worst of it, but ice is now an issue. All the details coming up.
Well, first tonight, a man who was told he couldn't stay in a Manchester hotel because he was homeless has told us he is disgusted with the way he was treated.
Yeah, Callum Donaghy was one of two men trying to check into rooms at the Holiday Inn Express on Oxford Road, which were pre-booked by a charity during freezing overnight temperatures.
The refusal was captured on camera by one of the volunteers.
Guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to be able to check you in. Full truth and transparency of the building, obviously. I know that you're from the street and the hotel doesn't allow it. Not a personal thing.
Well, the hotel has since apologised for the incident, but Mr Donaghy says it's too little, too late.
Our reporter Tim Scott is in Manchester for us tonight. Tim.
Yes, Gamal, well, this incident happened last Monday night after an outreach worker from the Two Brews charity had booked rooms for two homeless men at the Holiday Inn Express on Oxford Road in Manchester city centre behind me there. It was a chance to get them off the streets after temperatures here had plummeted to -6. But as you've seen from that video, when they turned up at the hotel, they were told they couldn't stay there, despite having their rooms already prepaid and pre-booked. The receptionist told them it was hotel policy, and despite sounding apologetic, he still turned them out onto the streets, knowing full well that it was -6 outside. Well, the two men did luckily manage to find another hotel for the night. No thanks, though, to the Holiday Inn. Well, earlier I caught up with Callum Donaghy, one of the men who was refused a room, and Amanda, the worker from the charity who'd made the original hotel booking.
I'm feeling a bit categorised to say that they want houses because we're homeless. You know what I mean? But yeah, bit of a kick in the backside, really. Yeah.
-6 outside as well.
It was very cold, really, really cold.
5 people have died on the streets over Christmas since Boxing Day. And it was just like, and if you've heard Mad Manny, he actually said that to him, that people have died and it was -6, and there was no compassion, no heart, no warmth, nothing given to him. And I just think if you're going to be that kind of person to do that and not even endeavour to like offer something else, then you're in the wrong job. You shouldn't be in the hospitality trade.
And Tim, the Holiday Inn Express has apologised, haven't they?
Yes, Katie, in a statement they told us after speaking with team members, we recognise that this incident is not in keeping with our policy of welcoming all and should have been handled differently. We sincerely apologise to the guests affected and are taking steps internally to strengthen our training. No explanation, though, as to just what went wrong and why the receptionist felt it was company policy to eject the two men from the hotel when it was -6 outside. And while Callum told me he does accept the Holiday Inn's apology, he's hoping for a personal apology from them because of all the distress that this has caused. Katie,
Tim in Manchester city centre, many thanks indeed.
Well, next tonight, to a desperate plea for help from a couple who say they feel like they're failing their disabled daughter. 22-year-old Eve Newell from Bolton has multiple physical, medical and emotional issues and is completely reliant on the support of her parents.
Yes, her only independence comes from a powered wheelchair, which gives her some element of control. But now that chair is starting to fail and her family say they can't afford to replace it and have nowhere to turn.
Our correspondent Mel Barham reports on a family's last-ditch attempt to keep their daughter's independence.
You ready, Eve? What are you?
I'm rocking!
Come on then!
Even without the optional leaf blower, this power wheelchair isn't just a piece of equipment, it's a lifeline for Eve, her ticket to both happiness and independence. The 22-year-old has quadriplegic cerebral palsy and severe scoliosis, which means she can't stand or support herself. But this chair, which means so much to her, has seen better days.
She can't stay in that chair much longer. The chair is very old now. I'm constantly having to do repairs on it just to keep it going. She no longer fits in the seat properly anymore. So she's uncomfortable, which causes back problems. So the chair is basically worn out. To switch it on? Sure. And which bit do you drive it with? That one. Yeah.
This chair was funded by a children's charity 8 years ago, but now she's an adult. All the NHS can provide is a manual wheelchair, and Eve's family simply can't afford the £15,000 to buy a power one themselves.
I had to give up work a couple of years ago to look after Eve, and my wife, she's got a pituitary tumour, which is causing her massive anxiety as well as the issues that come with it as well. So, yeah, it's a big worry for her.
The family are now desperate to do whatever they can to raise the money or risk Eve losing the one part of her life she can control herself.
Well, you feel like a failure. We don't want to let Eve down. So it's heartbreaking, really. If she ends up where we don't get her another chair, there'll be a lot of things that she'll not be able to do.
Tell me what that would mean to you if you could get a brand new chair.
It'll mean everything. The world. It would mean I could keep dancing and do whatever I want to do, go wherever I want to go.
Are you ready to lead me into the room?
Eve loves spending time at this day centre. Making sure she can continue to do things like this for herself is the goal here. Her family say it would mean the world if they could make that happen. Mel Barham, ITV News, Bolton.
We wish Eve and her family all the very best with their fundraising, and if you want to find out more, just head to our website. That's at itv.com/Granada.
A look at some more of the day's news now, and a man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after human remains were found in a flat on Merseyside. Police were responding to a report of a concern for safety at a flat at Gerrard's Court in St Helens yesterday when they made the discovery. A 65-year-old man is being questioned by detectives in custody.
Well, next, and a warning of some shocking footage that's emerged of the moment 3 school children fell from the top of a bus in Wigan. Police say the 2 13-year-olds and a 14-year-old leant on an emergency exit window as a double-decker made an emergency stop in Ashton and Macclesfield on Wednesday. Thankfully, the trio are not thought to have life-threatening conditions.
A yellow weather warning's in place across much of the region this evening after the Met Office warned of the risk of ice overnight. The northwest escaped the worst of Storm Goretti last night, but there's a warning of partially thawed snow could refreeze, accompanied by freezing fog and wintry showers. A spell of snow will lead to some disruption on Sunday, and Emma will have the full forecast later in the programme.
Well, now to one of the places responsible for keeping us warm during the winter weather. Heysham 2 power station in Lancashire has been connected to the national grid now since 1988.
It's now reached a record-breaking milestone, becoming the UK's most productive nuclear power station. Bosses say it provides safe, clean power, and workers there have been celebrating the record.
But anti-nuclear campaigners argue it's an ageing technology which should be left in the past and replaced by renewables. Rob Smith reports.
It's produced electricity on the windswept Lancashire coast for 37 years, years beyond what was originally planned. Now Heysham 2's generation record outstrips any nuclear power station in the UK. The reactors in this vast hall can keep the lights and everything else on in 2 million homes simultaneously. reactors staff walk on.
We're stood on a nuclear reactor. Yeah, we are. We're stood on the top of a nuclear reactor. People at home might go, well, are you safe on that? We're absolutely safe. So the dose you get in here is less than the dose you get outside on a sunny day.
Station bosses say the electricity sent into the grid over its lifetime is the equivalent of powering every home in Lancashire for 180 years. They believe it's a testament to design, operation and ongoing maintenance.
It's a fabulous marker to the people who designed the place, who built the place, commissioned the place, took it first into operation, who are operating it today and who will look after it as we move into the future. Nuclear provides a critical backbone to the UK's energy supply. It's zero carbon electricity, it's safe, it's clean, it's there when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine.
Apprentice Amy Peacock is among the 750 workers marking the milestone at Heysham 2.
How does it feel to know that you are literally working to keep the lights on?
It's a bit of an odd feeling because, you know, when you get a power cut and no one really thinks anything of it, and then all of a sudden your whole family's like, oh, Amy!
It's not ideal for them to blame you.
This is not me. But it's just one of those things that it's an odd feeling to have that you're doing it.
The fact this station's still doing what it does isn't universally popular. Anti-nuclear campaigners would prefer this 20th century technology wasn't still around breaking records in the 21st.
It's been shown so many times that it's much cheaper and more effective to go for renewable energy. People will talk about the jobs in nuclear power, and of course there are jobs, but there are far more jobs in renewable energy. We need a much better storage system. We need to bring in tidal power because that will help with the when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine argument.
Heysham 2 is now due to stop generating in 2030. Owners EDF say there's, quote, ambition to continue, but that would be subject to safety inspections and regulatory approval. Rob Smith, ITV News.
We had a little chuckle, didn't we? Listening
Poor
to Rob's
Amy.
report. Poor Amy. It's not her fault that the lights go out. Well, next, two brothers who between them have appeared in major films like Hunger Games and Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Gaith and Ali Salah began acting in Manchester at just 6 and 8 years old, and now they're both playing Prince Naseem as a boy in a new biopic about the British Yemeni boxer.
Victoria Grimes takes up the story.
Oh, that was a solid shot from Hamid.
It's the story of the most flamboyant figure in sport of the 90s.
100 wannabe fighters have walked through that door. You've got what they haven't.
And now a new film shows a whole new generation how Prince Naseem Hamid put the Nazmataz into boxing. Playing the part of the young Naz are Manchester superstars in the making, brothers Gaith and Ali Salah.
How did you get that cut on your lip?
See when you got that bent nose.
To be honest, we both felt honoured to be playing the role of such a legendary character, a person who wrote the history of boxing with such a huge legacy.
He was a big name around our house. We always talked about him, and like obviously we do boxing outside of the movie as well. So like we're always fighting like him, and like.
So our dad would always tell us, watch this fight of Naz, watch this fight, copy his movements.
Produced by Hollywood heavyweight Sylvester Stallone, Giant tells the story of Naz's rise from child prodigy to world champion and his relationship with coach Brendan Ingle, who died in 2018. Brendan's played by James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan.
He was a nice guy. He was like really amazing.
I mean, primarily, I think my parents are more excited.
Flying close enough to the sun, you cast the shadow of a giant.
And the opportunity to play a man like Brendan, and then of course, as I say, somewhat overwhelming because he was so loved. He was so cherished, both men were, and their relationship is one of the cornerstones of the boxing world.
Well, the main man was himself at last night's premiere and enjoying being centre stage again.
It's so amazing that everybody, and I mean everybody, just wants a glimpse of the Prince.
Hamid has done it! The Prince is champion of the world!
Giant is in cinemas now. Victoria Grimes, ITV News.
Hasn't lost his confidence, has he?
We all want a glimpse of the Prince.
He's still got it. If you're interested in the Prince Naseem story, there's a new feature on the Northern Gym that produced him and 4 other boxing world champions. Look out for Fight Club, the inside story of the Ingle Gym, in the new section of ITVX.
OK, on to sport now, and a major signing for Manchester City, Chris.
Yeah, this could be a huge boost to their squad for the title race ahead. Antoine Semenyo says his best football is yet to come after completing his move from Bournemouth to Manchester City. The Ghana international will cost City around £62 million and has signed a contract until 2031.
Can play in both sides, right, left. He used the both legs unbelievably. And a striker as well can play for his pace, and he knows the Premier League, so many clubs want him and he decided to join us, so all I can say is thanks to him. Yeah, really pleased.
In other football news, Everton say they're surprised and disappointed to have lost their appeal against Michael Keane's red card. The defender was banned for 3 games for a hair pull in Wednesday's draw with Wolves. And Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli has apologised for shoving injured Liverpool player Conor Bradley off the pitch during last night's goalless draw. Martinelli said he didn't realise Bradley was seriously injured. Well, Liverpool begin their hunt for the FA Cup at home to Barnsley on Monday. Here are the other North West clubs in third-round action this weekend. In all, we have 12 teams still on the road to Wembley. Kicking things off tonight are Fleetwood at Port Vale, while Wigan head to Preston. A special third-round draw then for ex-Preston manager Ryan Lowe.
Do you know what? I actually missed it. I know my mates would text me going, "Oh, you're never going to believe it." But look, it's a great opportunity, isn't it? You know, for two local clubs going toe to toe to get to the fourth round. As I say, some fantastic memories there.
It's the what ifs that you play for. You know, whether it's the fans hoping for a Premier League team away from home and a day out, or me wanting another home game, limiting the travel and giving us the best chance of getting through.
Well, Blackpool will have a larger than expected travelling support for their cup clash at Ipswich tomorrow to boost their away support for the 560-mile round trip. One of the club's sponsors has offered to put on free transport. Almost 1,000 fans have taken up the offer, with 20 coaches heading to the game.
I didn't want my team going to Portman Road, which is a great ground with 300 or 400 supporters. And I know how difficult logistically and financially this trick is for many people at this time of year. So because we're in a position to do it, we wanted to do it, and that's what we've done.
It's been phenomenal. I've had people say there's 3 generations. I'm going with my granddad, you know, there's dads and daughters. There's so many different demographics of people that have come together. It's fantastic to be a part of it.
This initiative has just made the impossible possible. The excitement that this has ignited amongst the fan base is kind of off the scale. It almost reminds us of going to the playoffs at Wembley.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsor of the Granada Sport Report.
Well, possibly the tie of the FA Cup third round sees non-league Macclesfield FC host cup holders Crystal Palace. It's the biggest day in the club's history since it was formed 5 years ago after the collapse of Macclesfield Town. A sellout crowd of more than 5,000 will hope to roar the Silkmen to an upset, and the day will be an emotional one for the club after their player Ethan McLeod died in a car crash on his way home from a game last month, as David Chisnall reports.
After celebrations at drawing the FA Cup holders, now the anticipation for Macclesfield FC's biggest day. It's been a busy build-up preparing the ground and battling the snow ahead of the visit of the Premier League side Crystal Palace.
Well, Rob, FA Cup third round against the cup holders. How big is this for this club, this community, and for you?
Oh, look, this is the moment. It's massive. We're super excited. The club has worked so hard to make this game happen, and we can't wait.
Is this going to be the biggest day since you took over?
100%. Playing Crystal Palace here is just, yeah, it's a dream come true.
It's massive for us and a great occasion for me as a young manager, for the players who've never really played this far in the FA Cup, and you know, for the owner Rob, the furthest since he's took over that have been the FA Cup, and to see an occasion like this is massive, but for the fans as well.
Well, regular fan volunteers have been among the army of helpers for this glamorous tie, doing some of the less glamorous jobs.
Unblocking toilets, that's a regular thing for us, to be honest, but for it to happen just before a big game,
is a bit of a problem.
How important is this game to the club?
To the club, very important financially. To us, it's a free game. You just go out and enjoy it, and whatever happens, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
If the miracle happens and we win, what a fantastic occasion. If it doesn't, it's been a fantastic run in the Cup.
As well as the excitement, tomorrow's tie will also be emotional for all at Macclesfield. Just before Christmas, their 21-year-old forward Ethan McLeod died in a car crash on the way back from a game.
Incredibly difficult. I think that the passing was so sudden. He's such a healthy man that we were with moments before he passed away. He's going to live long in our memory and long in our hearts, and I think that days like Saturday remind you to just enjoy them, because it can be such a fleeting career, and it shows the fragility of life.
A fundraising page to help support Ethan's family has now raised £25,000. Palace fans are among those to make donations, and in a gesture of goodwill by the Premier League club, they've pledged their share of away ticket sales from the Cup game to Macclesfield.
So in financial terms, how important is this for the club as well?
Yeah, absolutely huge. The revenue that will be generated, will be a substantial amount to probably keep us going for the next 2 to 3 years. It's huge amounts of money. I think we probably maybe anywhere £350,000–400,000 it's worth to us. It's a one-off opportunity, and who knows? The dream could maybe, if it happens, we could do it.
Well, with more than 100 league places between these two sides, the odds are against Macclesfield, but that's not stopping them believing their dream cup tie can have a dream ending. David Chisnell, ITV News, Macclesfield.
Yeah, good luck to Macclesfield. Fingers crossed they can do the business.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Chris.
Well, finally, to the country songwriter who's tipped to go all the way to Nashville.
Yeah, OK, so Grandad's prediction may be slightly biased, but Amy Jo from Morecambe has got a bright future, and she's about to release her debut album, and she's hoping to bring a bit of country to Glastonbury as well.
She's been chatting to Elaine Wilcox.
So thank you to all my exes, and please don't be offended, but this year I'm glad it's only me.
A love of telling stories is the perfect match for Amy Jo, a country singer from Morecambe. Along with the coast, her family inspires her music.
Country is really important to me, but so is folk, so is soul.
11 were you when you started writing?
I think my first paid gig, I was about 13 in a restaurant somewhere. Is that allowed anymore? I don't even know.
Oh, I don't need nobody on this February the 14th.
I feel so much connection to Morecambe. My granddad was from Morecambe. He got me my first piano, my first guitar, my first karaoke machine.
And your granddad was one of your big supporters, but he didn't get to see you perform.
The last thing he said to the nurse, my granddaughter's going to be a superstar, star of stage and screen. Even at the hospice, he was miming playing a guitar as his last sort of gesture to me.
He'll be super proud of you.
Thank you. Getting emotional now.
Country can be quite melancholic. So how is that when you're performing some of these songs on stage?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of emotional capacity. I'm very sensitive, and I do like to write in a really personal style. There's murder country where it's he's cheated on me, so I'm gonna slash his tyres and all. I haven't done any of that. So for me, it's very much about talking about what I go through, which is kind of mundane, daily life.
So 2026, what does it hold for Amy Jo?
Mostly it will be releasing new music. I've been recording an album, recording loads of new songs, and I have never been prouder of music.
And will we see more of the beautiful Morecambe Bay in your videos?
Definitely be some elements there that will never go away, yeah.
Even though the wind can play havoc with your hair?
Yeah, I think that's just part and parcel of being northern, to be honest, and from Morecambe. That song is about not looking your best, and I do not look my best in that video, and that's fine. My friend, who's a hairdresser, she came and curled the hair. It was all really nice, she pinned it in place. I literally stepped foot outside for the first shot of the day. By the end of the day, my hair, like it is right now, this is my natural hair, pinned straight. We had to cut all the early shots because it just looked like two different videos.
Amy Jo's got a tour lined up and a debut album, setting her sights on the big one to bring more of the beach and country to Glastonbury.
Very talented performer.
Absolutely. Now more on that ice warning tonight. Let's get the full forecast from Emma.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Well, as anticipated, many parts of the region escaped the worst of Storm Goretti. This was actually taken a couple of days before, but some of us woke up to snowy accumulations over the tops of the Pennines and through parts of Buxton, for example. And don't forget, it happened overnight and we were on the very northernmost periphery of the system. So rain fell, it turned to snow, turned back to sleet, turned back to rain again, and then looked like it disappeared by the time everyone woke up this morning. But like I say, we did escape the worst of it. The main focus now is on icy stretches. We've got a couple of warnings in force which run through until Saturday afternoon. However, they kind of melt into each other. Every pun intended, and so we're just going to lump them all into one thing. Icy stretches across the very tops and where there's been lying snow, where it melts and refreezes overnight and into tomorrow. Also possibly some freezing fog patches around first thing on Saturday morning, but generally a fine, bright, calm Saturday, just 1 or 2 showers across the Isle of Man. So Goretti is now pushing away to the east, bit of high pressure for Saturday, but it all goes downhill again on Sunday with 2 low pressure systems from the west, which mean more wintry falls in places. Over the next few hours, turning really, really cold and icy, as I say, especially through the easternmost swathe and the south of the patch, but showers continue across the Isle of Man pretty much throughout the night. After midnight, it dries up everywhere else. It's going to be bitterly cold, -6, -7 through parts of Buxton is not unlikely. And then into tomorrow morning, obviously an icy start, chilly, the showers across the Isle of Man are remaining cold right the way through the day with slippery surfaces, some pretty nippy temperatures there, and then those systems approaching from the west into Sunday. That's it for now. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thanks, Emma. And just before we go, we've got some brilliant news to bring you. You may remember earlier in the programme we featured Eve's fundraising appeal. She was trying to buy a new powered wheelchair, and incredibly, all thanks to you guys, they're already over £12,000.
Yeah, £12,000, a remarkable amount of money, which means that they only need £3,000 to hit their target. You really are the best, aren't you? You are Granada Report's viewers. Thank you for your generosity. I know Eve and her family will be bowled over by that. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.